Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in chapter 7 of Amrutanubhav, OV number 174, and we are looking at how there is nothing called ignorance, because if ignorance is, then that will be in opposition to reality. How can there be, if we say reality is and ignorance is, then there are two existences. That is impermissible, not accepted. And towards that, this whole dialogue of Jnaneshwar Maharaj as to what his realization about it is. And here he says, Drashta Drushya Aise Doni Adumaadu Dise Tehi Paraspara Nu Praveshe Kahi Naki. The seer and the seen appear for a while, then they merge into each other and the duality disappears. Isn't it true that now I'm looking at you and I'm the seer, you are the, one of you is the seen, then that, oh, this is both. Then when I shift my attention to Nagaraj, the seer I and the seen both vanishes and the seer I and the seen Nagaraj appears. And this way both the seer and the seen are continuously, meaning the technical word here used is drashta and drishya, meaning observer and observed, subject and object. They both keep appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. The seer and the seen appear for a while, they are only momentary, then they merge into each other and the duality disappears. Just like initially I desire food and eventually that food comes on my tongue, then the desirer and I and the food, the object of desire, both of them vanish once, because the I and the food become one inside, within, or on the tongue, wherever. And this is here, these words are to be taken as a prompt so that we start looking at life in a different way. We start looking at ourselves in a different way. If you keep thinking the way you have been thinking, you will keep getting what you have been getting. If you change your thinking and come to a different assessment, things are the same. Till we didn't come to the scriptures, the sky is blue. Yes, sky is blue. Then when we came here, no, sky is colorless. Blue is the color which is appearing due to refraction. Sky has no color. See? So, what is our assessment of every data that is coming to us? That is what Vedanta, or here Amrutanubhava, is prompting us to look at. The expression of the world is in the form of subject-object relationship. Where there is duality, there alone the world is. And where does the duality begin? Does it begin in the world outside, or does it begin in your mind? Did the world come first, or did your mind come first? Why do you ask such questions? Huh? Simultaneous. Simultaneous. And what is that? But that is happening within subject and object. Duality. And where does this subject and object duality happen? It happens in our mind. Mind is nothing but pure consciousness. But that pure consciousness, on the surface of pure consciousness, the duality is appearing as subject and object. Thoughts are appearing as the waves on the ocean. So what is the ocean? Ocean is pure consciousness. What are the waves? Thoughts. How long are they there? Temporary. And what is what are the ingredients that go into the wave? Essentially, it is nothing but pure consciousness. But because of our objectivity, because of our non-attentiveness towards the self, we say the thought is a product of subject and object. And where did the subject-object come from? That one reality, one pure consciousness is alone appearing as subject-object at the level of the mind or on the surface. Just like one water alone is appearing as the many waves on the ocean, on the waters. Exactly the same way. What is significant is that subject-object relationship is the same for everyone. It is not that what we are telling you is only for those who are coming to study the scriptures. No. Knowledgeable, ignorant, saints, sages, buddhu, stupid, lunatic, everyone, same rule. That the thoughts appear or the world appears as a result of subject-object relationship. Each individual is both subject and object. This is a big one. Each individual is subject as well as the object. Tell me how. I am asking you before I explain. How individual is both subject and object? I am asking. Answer I gave you just now.
The individual is nothing but consciousness who is identified with the body. And when it is taken as the consciousness, it's the subject. And when it is identified with the world, object.
What did I say? To some extent, what you said is correct, but not exactly. Remember, the pure consciousness itself dichotomizes as subject and object. One hand, one body alone is the top part and the bottom part. One hand alone is the 5 fingers. One water alone is the various waves. One pure consciousness alone dichotomizes as subject and object. So, is subject nothing but pure consciousness in essence? Yes. Is object nothing but pure consciousness in essence? Yes. Therefore, they are the same. And who am I? I am the pure consciousness. And where do I experience the subject and object? I'm asking. Where do I experience the subject I and the object whatever? Object X?
The mind.
In the mind. And what is the mind in essence? Pure consciousness. See, देखो कितना मजा है. So what is mind? Nothing but pure consciousness. Where are the thoughts appearing? In the in the mind. How they are appearing? As a subject-object relationship. Where do you experience the subject? Where does the object, where does the I experience the object? Is it out there in the world? Or is it in the mind? I'm asking.
In the mind, Swamiji.
In the mind. Senses may see, but senses are not able to, they are just illuminating. But the knowledge of the object is taking place in the mind. By whom? By the I. Got the whole sequence. So each individual is both the subject and object simultaneously. That object can be absence of objects or it can be presence of objects. Objects can be two types: absence and presence of objects. When we are extroverted, then the absence of objects, the consciousness, the conscious I, the subject I, instead of going back to its original original nature, it says there is nothing. It's still objective in its nature. It's obsessed with a presence of objects, and when there is no object, then it says there is absence. As if absence is an object of cognition. It is not. That was the opportunity for it to get back to be itself as it is. But instead, contemplating, thinking about the absence, it goes into fear. Each individual is both subject and object simultaneously, irrespective of where from it is expressing. The subject-object relationship is supported by the same consciousness. This is the whole genesis I gave you just now. Pure consciousness itself is appearing as mind when we talk about a subject-object relationship. Nobody has seen the mind. We have only seen the thoughts coming and going, or experienced the thoughts coming and going. So when we say mind, where have you seen the mind? There is only pure consciousness. Where subject-object identification takes place, there the manifestation of love is most natural and spontaneous. Where the subject-object identification takes place. So I am identified with this body. I was not born like this. But 2.5, 3 years, slowly, because of the environment that I was in, because of the data, the input that came in, my parents told me, hello Chinnu Minnu, what is this? This is nose. What is this? Eyes. So first the child always learns when the parents point out their face, their body, their hands. And after 4, 5, 6 months, then the same thing is applied. Acha, this is nose. Then the same finger goes on his nose. What is this? The child is confused. Then the parents, first time, second time, 3 times, they'll say, nose, nose, nose. Slowly, identification with the form is taking place. We are the culprits, parents. Leave him alone. He'll be better off. But we do it because for us that is a way of entertainment, and we are thinking we are educating the kid. But actually, we are conditioning the kid into thinking that he is only this nose, only these eyes. You could have changed at that time. You could have given all eyes, I am. All nose, I am. From childhood, you should have said that. But we didn't, because we didn't know. So here he says, when subject-object identification takes place, there is manifestation of love. Whether you identify with your children, grandchildren, house, investments, business, but all this outside identification is an expression of the identification with your body. I am identified with my body, I am the subject, body is the object, and identification means I am this body. Without this body, I am not. My existence is because of the body. When we come to these type of conclusions, we are undermining what scriptures are telling us. Scriptures are telling us we are in essence infinite consciousness. And every time we cancel that, we non-accept that I am the infinite, all-pervasive, pure consciousness and say I am only this body. And that I am only I am this body, or I am only this body, it will express as hunger, thirst, depression if my eyes, if I go blind, or some limb stops functioning, or I become emotional if someone gets separated or dies. All this is on account of this body. Every time something like this is reinforced again and again and again, to that extent, I am the infinite, all-pervasive consciousness. I may have heard it, but it has gone, receded into the background. So what is to be done? While living in this world, keep remembering that you are the infinite, pure consciousness. Then automatically the expression of that acceptance will be vairagya, dispassion, non-involvement. Non-involvement means you will do whatever is required, but you are not attached to anything. You will not give it too much value initially, and slowly zero value. Love is the most natural, and this is what we see in our life. If I am attached to my children, natural affinity, love expresses. Nobody has to teach me. A mother taking care of her newborn child, nobody has to teach her. And it's spontaneous. To cite an instance, the body is the object of one's own knowledge, but one accepts it as oneself, and hence the love for one's body is natural. So we are forgetting. Just like everything in this world, this is a big problem for sadhakas. We accept everything in the world as a thought in our mind. I know each one of you because I have a thought of each one of you. I know every object in here because I have got a thought of every object in my... But so is true about my body. Body is also only a thought. And that thought has grown out of proportion by my attention giving to it again and again and again, that I am only this body. Think quietly, go inside a bit and see. So many thoughts are coming and going. So many people are coming and going out of your life. So many objects Right now, in your room itself, you just look around, so many things are there. How many things stay in your mind? You even forget where you have kept your diamond necklace, where you have kept your watch, where you have kept your keys. Every day you do it, but you forget. But in the background, we have trained ourselves so intensely and deeply that all our conduct in this world is based upon I am the body. I don't say I am the body again and again, but I have accepted it somewhere deeply. I have not accepted I am the consciousness deeply, but I am the body. But this body is also only a thought. Let it pass by. No, I'm not thinking of body, I'm thinking of mind. Mind is also part of the body only. Annamaya kosh, pranmaya kosh, manomaya kosh, vijnanmaya kosh, and anandamaya kosh, which is absence. So all these is equal to body, not only physical body. So it is with my hunger. My hunger is one with me, and hence my concern for satisfying it. But the same concern is not felt for another one's hunger. Huh? When that happens, you are a saint or a sage. You are a Mahatma. If you can feel other people's hunger as your own, and you are satisfied, your hunger is satisfied when other people are fed, then you are a Mahatma. To some, the only person comes close to it is mother. She feels happy when the child is nourished. The same principle applies to one's emotions, concepts, convictions, etc. Therefore, love can manifest only when the subject object relationship is completely removed. Sant Jnaneshwar Maharaj is trying to help us discover this point in this OE. So, what is this subject identifying with object? It is limited love. I wanting, desiring food to satisfy my hunger, desire for hunger, it is temporary. Once it is completed, it will go away, and after some time again it will arise. My love for my husband or wife, it is there. But when the children come, husband or wife is forgotten. Children are replaced by children. Then the grandchildren come. Then the children are replaced by the grandchildren. Nothing is permanent. So here we are, when Swamiji is saying this, it is talking about unconditional love. And that unconditional love, which is our nature, which is the natural expression of pure consciousness. What does unconditional love express as? Accepting everything, rejecting nothing, retaining nothing. That unconditional love expresses only when the subject and object merge or vanish away. So technically, when every thought subsides and there is a gap before the next thought arises, you are unconditional love, provided you don't take or you don't give reality to the absence in between. In between, instead of saying there was nothing there, no, I was there, be that, without saying that. Technically, realization you have to do. The manifestation of subject-object relationship called the world is continuously going on. Nobody can stop it. Ishwar Advayavad, the Kashmiri Shaivism, it accepts that one is appearing as two. You don't have to remove the two in order to experience the one. Let them dissolve or not dissolve. But this phenomena of one appearing as two and then two merging into one, this is continuously going on. The waker and the waking world merges into one, then the dreamer and the dream world begins. Then the dreamer and the dream world merges into one, then the deep sleep begins. Yeah, every thought, this is at a larger scale, but every thought is, same thing is going on. And it is the interaction between the waker and the waking world, which is the waking experience. Dreamer and the dream world, dream experience. It appears for some time and disappears like any experience of any other sense organ. So just like sometimes seer seen seeing, sometimes hearer heard hearing, sometimes smeller smelt smelling, sometimes feeler felt feeling, sometimes taster tasted tasting. We cannot continuously only see, be the seer. Right now you watch yourself. Sometimes you are the seer, sometimes you are the hearer. And every time you are shifting your position in the chair, you are a feeler also. But it's happening so fast that you take it as one experience. But no, we have to slow down and then you catch. Only one only one subject-object triad can appear at a time. So just like the sense organs are continuously changing from hearing to seeing to smelling to tasting, similarly, the thoughts are also continuously changing. Meaning, one triad appears, goes away. Then the next triad comes, then disappears. Then the third triad comes, then they disappear. Each thought is a triad. It is very, and this triad, just as seer seen seeing, hearer heard hearing, similarly, each triad of subject, object, and instrument of knowledge, every thought is also temporary, finite, ephemeral. What does ephemeral mean? Mithya. Appears but actually is not there. It is very ephemeral, lasting hardly for a moment. By the time one experience is talked about, several experiences have already come and gone. It is a continuous process of knower known knowledge going on. This is what I was telling you in the beginning. It's automatically your thoughts go in that direction. Right now, you are a conglomerate of different experiences, and you are calling yourself as that. I am this. I am the seer also, I am the hearer also, I am the toucher also, I am the thinker also, I am the ideator also, I am the waker also, I am the dreamer also, I am the sleeper also. all these gamut of experiences, triads, small or big, put together, you are saying, I am. But you are forgetting that all these experiences are only temporary, they are coming and going. There is nothing, the only permanent thing about it is they are continuously dying. The triads. That's the only permanent thing about it. That whatever is coming up is going away. But because this continuous phenomena of coming and going away is happening, that does not make it permanent. It doesn't make it permanent. But our attention is on the gamut of experiences. I am the senses also, I am the mind also, I am the intellect also, I am all the limbs also, I am the what is called prana, pan, vyan, udan, saman, all these different airs. Digestion is going on, blood is flowing, heart is pumping, water is going around in the body, digestion is going on, evacuation. All this put together, I am. But none of these are happening at the same time. The teacher here is prompting us to think differently about ourselves. If that shift in our assessment of our data is not changed, then identification will continue. It is a continuous process of knower known knowledge going on. How? When the object of experience is experienced, as for example, a sweetmeat touches the tongue, within that fraction of a moment of experience, there is neither subject nor object. There is only bliss because there is no separation between subject and object. Similar example I took before. When your hunger is, when the food touches your tongue, immediately the desire for food is over. There is no separation between subject and object. This is such a high speed process that it creates an illusion of continuity of experience. And that is why continuously at a very objective level we are said, do japa, slow down your mind. Vaikari madhyama pashyanti para. Or you be attentive of the consciousness that you are, automatically slowing down will begin. How to do that? Just like every night when you think of sleep, all the activity subsides in the mind. Automatically, you don't do anything to make it slow down. You are just thinking of sleep again and again. And entire activity of the mind becomes quiet. So should I think of sleep right now in the class to quieten the mind? That's one solution. Or I can be attentive of the consciousness that I am, or the all-pervasive consciousness that I am. I can be attentive of the essence that I am. I can be attentive of the constant principle that I am. I can be attentive of the witnessing consciousness that I am, which is untouched by everything that is coming and going. And when we become attentive towards it, you have to be attentive toward by way of thought only initially, then all other thoughts will start subsiding. This is the technology. But till we don't practice it in our life, we will not come to recognize it, discover it. And once you discover it, it becomes like a addiction. You want to go, you want to keep doing that, because the the depth of silence, the fullness of silence which pervades as a result of it, in spite of everything going on around, it cannot be replaced by anything. Then no object can fulfill you. Because this silence, as a result of my attentiveness towards the conscious principle, and the ensuing silence, is more potent than any object. This you have to discover. Right now it is only language or words coming to you. This we have to discover within ourselves. Now what is to be done? This is to be done. Be attentive of the conscious principle. How do you make it practical? This is the practical way. People normally, how do we practice it in our life? They want it, I have to do some pranayama, I have to do some yoga, I have to do some focusing exercise, I have to do that. No, get out of all that. Just be attentive in spite of everything going on around. I can't make you do that. I can make you with strictness, make you sit down, keep your back and neck in a head in a straight line, sit straight, don't shake your legs, don't have a cup of tea next to you when you are in a satsang. Don't go to sleep in a satsang. I can, if you are in front of me, I can impose all those disciplines on you. But even if you are in front of me, I cannot impose the discipline and check whether you are attentive of the self or not. That only you can. And that's the easiest, simplest. But in our addiction for objective pursuit, I want to do something. So is being attentive not doing something? If you are addicted to doing, is being attentive towards the self not doing something? Do it. And be. No other doing is going to make you be. Only attentive, doing the attentiveness towards the pure consciousness that I am, that will lead you to recognize your being, discover your being. But we keep sabotaging ourselves by objectifying. We are not asking you to objectify consciousness. We are asking you to recognize that this pure consciousness is the subject behind all the subject-object relationships. And that I am. And you don't have to keep repeating it again and again. Accept it. There is such a high-speed process that it creates an illusion of continuity of experience. What is this like? The example we have given you before. If there is a candle in your hand or a sparkler in your hand, and you keep taking it round and round at a speed, there is an illusion of a circle of light. Is that circle of light existing? Yes and no. Eyes are seeing it, but logically it cannot exist. Why? The light on the sparkler can be at one given point at a time. It is in south position at one point, then it is in east position, west position at one point, then north position 1 point, then east position 1 point. At a time it can be only at one position, but it is happening at so high speed that the illusion of a circle is seen. Circle of light. Just like when you're standing and going round and round in one place and you stop, the illusion of all the walls going round and round is seen. Are they going? No. But you are experiencing the going around of the walls. This illusion of continuity of I, that circle of light, it's not there, but it is seen. Similarly, one triad comes, goes away. Second triad comes, goes away. Third triad comes, goes away. But it is happening at such a great speed that we feel there is a continuous I, and that I am. Yes, you are the continuous I, but the pure consciousness, not the subject object I. That is not that object, not that subject, not the I with a reference to an object. You are taking yourself, the individuality is the I with a reference to some object. And it's happening at a great speed. You slow down, automatically this this continuity of I also starts dissolving. And where it dissolves completely, there you are. You're still there. Then you are the referenceless I. Right now, you are I with reference. See? This illusion is called a jiva bhava. This continuity of I is called the jiva bhava with reference. When there is no reference and you have not realized yourself and there is no reference, but you are awake, so all objects have vanished, dissolved. Mind is empty. You are awake. What do we call it? Samadhi. Why? Attention is still outside, or attention is not on the pure consciousness. The body consciousness has not gone away completely. The itch that I have to realize this thought is still there. And that itch that I have to realize means I have to give up, I have to have no thought of the body, I have to have no thought of the breath, I have to have no thought in the mind. All that is prompting you to, by doing some exercise, some focusing exercise, some sadhana, and you have come to a point of dissolving everything. But I dissolved it. The I is still there. Till the I is there, samadhi. But I have not recognized that this I is the infinite I. That opportunity was available when the last object vanished, dissolved. But for that, you require a very fine dissection. You have to be very alert towards the consciousness, not towards the object. Towards the consciousness as our essential nature, independent of the thought. We are not trying to stop the thoughts. If you try to stop the thoughts, then it becomes artificial, you will go into only samadhi. But we are allowing the thoughts to become less and less as a result of our attentiveness towards the consciousness that I am. Because you can, any yoga you do, if your attention is on the yoga and you are addicted to it, that yoga, it is equal to addiction on drugs and drinks. It is same type of addiction. But when it comes to being attentive to the pure consciousness that I am, then there is no addiction, because that's your own being, which has never lost. You have never lost it. You can never gain it. You can never lose it. You can never realize it because you are already that. And for that, we don't have to stop the thoughts and we don't have to think the thoughts. Let it happen. In a very, if I can use these words, before my identification was with objects, now my I is identified with the pure consciousness. Initially as a thought, but eventually as my own being, as the thoughts slow down further, more and more and more. It's that simple. No teacher can make you realize. No teacher can make you realize. That's why I keep saying, Raman Maharishi did who am I inquiry. Just because he did who am I inquiry, you are also questioning who am I. You are copy pasting, you are a thief. Your who am I inquiry should be a genuine inquiry as a result of self-orientation. By reading books, you cannot become self-oriented. It can help. But while reading itself, it must happen. Right now, while listening, it must happen. Afterwards, it's too late. Because this opportunity is gone. The depth in which we are talking, I'm talking and you are listening, I'm contemplating and you are contemplating. This depth of contemplation, it takes time, it takes lot of discipline in order to develop this type of contemplation on your own. Because so many distractions. The waking state begins with the identification with the gross body and the gross world simultaneously. All the three planes of consciousness appear and disappear millions of times. That is our data. But I don't feel that I have disappeared and I have appeared. Whenever I talk about appearance, I say when I look back, that yes, I expressed as the waker, I expressed as the dreamer, I expressed as the sleeper. But I never have the feeling that I was absent. I was always there. Just like I express as the father, I express as the husband, I express as the son, the man was always there. Your attention was not on the man. Your attention was on the references, and based on references you are defining yourself and getting worked up. Come to be the man, nothing to work out, nothing to be worked up about. See, same thing in the mind, same thing in your contemplation. Instead of being attentive of the objects, be attentive of the subject. And by repeating who am I, who am I, who am I, nothing is going to happen. Until and unless our attention is not on the pure consciousness. Or our alertness and vigilance. We are a perfect surgeon who is able to dissect and separate the I, the subject from the object, and then discover what is the nature of this subject. Can the subject identify with the object? Or is the nature of the subject to be the witness of the phenomena that is coming and going? Or is the nature of the subject to be the infinite pure consciousness? This revelation, rediscovery of yourself is only going to happen when we are attentive of the pure consciousness. I'm not talking about being attentive of the mind. Mind will take you for a ride somewhere. It will come up with n number of ways to hijack the I. Until and unless studies of scriptures is not resulting in our complete acceptance that we are essentially pure consciousness, nothing else will work. This is what Krishna Bhagwan tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 verse 5, that is, the Kutastha Bhagavan tells the Kutastha tells another Chidabhasa. What is that? How many times the trio of knower known knowledge has come up and gone? When Arjuna asked this question, Lord answers, you cannot remember them because your existence, oh, not chapter 5, it is in chapter 6, no, chapter 4. I'm getting confused in Roman numerals. Chapter 4, verse 5. What is it called? Do I have it here? No, I don't have it. You cannot remember them because your existence is temporary with reference to one trio only. It has no connection with the next or with the next, to that and so on, whereas the substratum on which the bubbles of trio are constantly arising and bursting and disappearing, this is the reality. Now, I will go deeper into this. If I, the subject called the seer, is identifying with the object called the seen, I see you all. Thought is over. Thought is over. Then I hear you all. Then I feel the breeze of the fan. Each thought is complete in itself and it goes away. Just like the waker has no entry into the dream experience or the deep sleep experience, or the dreamer has no entry into waking experience and the sleep experience, similarly, the I of the triad, for example, the seer has no entry into the hearer, to the hearer. So the seer, seen, seeing trio, in this the I expressed as the seer. It is the I. We are calling it seer with reference to the seen. It's the same eye which is the phenomenal eye, then the hearer, heard and hearing. That seer has no entry into the hearing. It is independent, gone, dead, over. So who is this I? If this is the data, do you agree or not? First let me know. Only I am talking away. Do you understand what we are saying? Does it gel with you? Nobody is saying yes.
Swamiji, is the seeing and the hearing happening so simultaneously that
It's happening not simultaneously. They cannot happen simultaneously. They happen one after the other, but they are happening very fast.
very fast?
Only
So
one
that-
triad. One triad is seer, seen, seeing. Next triad is hearer, heard, hearing. So if I am saying, these are 4 words. You have had, just now you had 4 triads with 4 words. In between, seeing is also happening, feeling is also happening, tasting is also happening, swallowing is also happening, sneezing is also happening. Imagine how fast the triads are coming and going. You understand this, all of you?
Yes, Swamiji.
Do you
So-
understand? Just like the waker has no entry into the other 3 states, similarly, the I in the each triad has no entry into the next triad. Do you accept that?
Yes, Swamiji.
Huh? So one triad cannot come to know the next triad. So no memory can be formed. Then who is the one who knows that all the triads came and went? There has to be someone witnessing, isn't it? There has to be someone witnessing. So at this very moment, you are the I in the triad, you are the subject in each triad, which is nothing but I. At the same time, you are the witnessing I, witnessing consciousness also. And at the same time, you are the infinite consciousness also. Just like the wave, if it says I am, if the wave says I am a wave, at the same time, that wave is the ocean also. And at the same time, it is nothing but the infinite waters also, isn't it? Who is the wave? Individual I. Who is the ocean? Witness I. Who is the water? Infinite pure consciousness. Then what is ocean, wave and all that? Phenomena. So what is triad? Phenomena. What is witness and the witnessing going on? That is also phenomena at the total level. We are only talking about your experience. You are knowing all the thought, waking, dream, deep sleep have come and gone every day. In the waking, yesterday you had so many thoughts, you can remember many things. Who is remembering? The individual, because he identified with some things, not everything. Who knows that remembering is taking place? There is someone behind that also. That is the witness. When we take each thought as nothing to do with the next thought, then who knows it? Who knows the memory also appears as a thought only. When we talk about remembrance, remembrance is memory. Memory is also a thought. Again a triad appears. Who knows that all this happened? There is a witnessing consciousness. देखो, mistakenly we keep taking a referential position, and based on that referential position we have memories, and we keep reliving our memories. Therefore we find change very difficult. But my body can't change, it's already, so many problems, I'm already 60, 70, 80 years old. We are not talking about body change. What cannot be changed cannot be changed. Can you change your thinking? Can you change your disposition within yourself, who you are? That is required. Many Mahatmas, their journey began at 60, 70 years old. They were Grahasthas, they were sannyasis, but one I can't remember, Ramananda Swami, very famous Mahatma. He was having 4 or 5 ashrams in Allahabad and Mathura and Vrindavan and Varanasi and Ayodhya. And one day he was walking around the Gangaji and contemplating Vedanta, full Vedanta, master of Vedanta, very highly esteemed in Kashi. And while he was walking around, suddenly it clicked to him, what am I doing? Running ashrams, teaching scriptures, wanting to pass the knowledge to the next generation. I had done it he was 72 at that time. But living in the glory of respect, reverence, greatness, a great Mahant. What a great job he is doing for having 5 ashrams, giving free education to everyone, giving free accommodation to everyone. And all big saints are his donors. You get a lot of pratishtha like that. And the day while walking around the Gangaji on the ghats, suddenly it clicked to him, and he came back, and whoever was running each ashram, he called a lawyer, he got the papers made, he called all the mahants or the head of the ashrams, and he says, from today, this moment onwards, all the ashrams are yours for each one of you. But Swamiji, aapka kya hoga? What will happen to you? Don't worry about me. I don't want anything. It was my mistake that I started this. You can continue what you want to do with it. Don't consult me, don't come to me, don't involve me, don't question me. And then he refused to live in any ashram. Refused to live in any ashram. Only walk around the Ganges. Live under a tree, live in a temple. If someone gives him a house, fine. At age 72. Krishna is giving knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna at age of 125. No, sorry, 87, 86, 87, sorry. 125, he left his body. 87 years old. Prabhupada started his journey at age of 62 or 60. Only 12 years. When is the penny going to drop for us? When are we going to go introvert? When are we going to make a resolve within ourselves that I am going to be consciousness oriented, not world oriented? I don't have to seek the knowledge. The knowledge is already, all the book knowledge, all the word knowledge, all the satsang knowledge is only reminding you about one thing, that you are the pure infinite consciousness. But that you already are. Then why do I have to go outside? Why do I have to read books? Because I'm not ready to accept myself as the pure infinite consciousness. That is the problem. I have created a problem for myself by my thinking. And the scriptures or the masters like Jnaneshwar Maharaj, they are trying to correct our thinking. Yeah. In this way, so when it says here, it has, you cannot remember them. What you can't remember? The triad. You cannot remember the triads because your existence is temporary with reference to one trio only. It has no connection with the next or with the next to that add, so on. Whereas the substratum on which the bubbles of trio are constantly arising and bursting and disappearing, that is the reality. So you never forget yourself. You have never forgotten yourself. No, but Swamiji, I remember everything from yesterday. Acha? Yesterday you had dream. Tell me, what dream did you have? That was a part of your one day experience. Can you tell me what you dreamt? Oh, I was talking only about the waking. Okay, let's start. From the morning, every moment you have to explain. I am patient. I will sit here with you 24 hours and you have to tell me everything in sequence. Every thought, every breath, every word that you chanted, spoke. Every experience you had, every emotion you felt. You can't. We do it selectively to prop up ourselves as the individual. But data is contrary when you look at it. In this way, when the knower meets the known, they enter each other. The subject enters the object and the object enters the subject. That is, there is total obliteration of the difference between the subject and the object. This is what happens when the sweet meat touches the tongue. Both lose into each other. Object is meeting the subject and the subject, the taster, is meeting the object, the tasted. The triad finishes, dissolved. That is the divine manifesting in an unmanifest form, that is pure knowledge. At that moment where the merging takes place, at that moment when the subject, the taster, and the object, the tasted, meet, that's where the reality is available. That moment, which I tell you, or in this only Jnaneshwar Maharaj has said, or Swamiji has said, and we have said it also many times, that when the sleeper and the sleep meet every night, rather than go to sleep, remain awake. At that moment is the moment of realization. At the end of every triad is the moment of realization. At the beginning of every triad, it's a moment of realization. Triad will appear only as long as the subject and object are separate. Once they unite, triad is over. So every moment that the word from here is coming to your ears, till the word is separate to you, triad is there. When you make it your own, आत्मसात कर लो without going to sleep, then there you are. It's not realization or self-abidance is not an event in future. Self-abidance is our natural state. Natural state. And it does not come and go. It cannot be forgotten or remembered. Then why did you say that you discover self-realization? We have to use some language. But we cancel it also by saying now like this. That is the divine manifesting as in an unmanifest form, that is pure knowledge. There is no birth of any concept. Realization is not a concept. Realization cannot be gained through logic. Realization cannot be gained through devotion. Realization cannot be gained through imagination, comparison. By doing something, I will get realized, forget it. Realization is your natural state. We are studying Vedanta, don't forget. It's your natural state, it's a continuous state, and you are that. The seeker doing sadhana is a concept, a struggle of the individuality. Who is doing the sadhana? The individual. Who is the individual? That circle, imaginary circle which appeared but is not there. Remember that sparkler going round and round? It was only at one place at a time. So that imaginary continuous I, which was this I with reference, that referential continuous I, which is not continuous because it's only appearing one place at a time, but imagining I'm continuous, that imaginary continuous I is doing the sadhana. Oh, stop playing with my mind, Swami. But this is how it is. That imaginary continuous, that imaginary referential I, which is thinking itself as continuous, is doing the sadhana, wants to do the sadhana. First it has thought that it is bound, now it has thinking that it wants to realize. This is how it is. Which one are you accepting yourself as? The referential I, the imaginary continuous referential I, the witnessing I? Which one? The seeker doing the sadhana is a concept, a struggle of the individuality. The truth can only be known that way, only by devaluing all experiences, good and bad. And what did we give you? How did we tell you to devalue all the experiences? Rather than doing any sadhana of yoga, pranayam, if your orientation is that way, please do. I am not against that. Every person is different. You want to go the long way to catch your nose? Welcome. Be aware of the continuous consciousness that I am. Automatically all dissolving will start. The truth can only can only be known that way only by devaluing all experiences, good and bad. When your attention is on the pure consciousness, when you are attentive of the pure consciousness that you are, automatically your attention is not on the objects. When your value giving and importance has shifted from the objects to the conscious principle, automatically the devaluing of the objects has begun. When you become attentive of the objects, then the devaluing of the pure consciousness has begun. Then you accept yourself as an individual. When you start giving value, importance, are accepting yourself as the pure conscious, maybe not you have realized yet, you are not discovered yet. But because Mahatma says so, Krishna says so, Dattatreya says so, Scripture says so, Upanishad says so, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says so, it must be true. Then why am I not realizing? I must shift my attention. Start 1 microsecond at a time. Every time your attention is towards the pure consciousness, the constant principle, for that moment you have devalued the objects. For example, if you are doing a japa on Ram, Ram, Ram or Om, 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 if you are sitting for 10 minutes and no other thought is coming and disturbing you, or even if other thoughts are coming, you are focused on the Om or Ram, you have devalued all other objective thoughts for that 10 minutes. You are aware that in the mind some other thoughts are arising, but you choose to stay with Ram. So that other thought which was arising from your subconscious waits for some time, looks for some attention, no attention is given, it dies its own death. Because the nature of an object is to appear and disappear. See? This is the technology. How many times have they come and gone, but they have no permanency other than I, the substratum, other than non-dual pure existence, nothing else is. And that is your true nature. Other than non-dual pure existence, nothing else is. That one non-dual pure existence alone is expressing as the spirit and matter. That alone is, remember in Upanishad, in the present Prashna Upanishad, that one reality alone, that one creator alone expressed as sun and the moon duality. Then who is the Prajapati? From where did the creation begin? The creation began from the Prajapati. The sun is the Prajapati. Sun is the conscious principle because it has its own light. Moon borrows light. Moon is matter, sun is consciousness. Then that further fell down, it came as a ear. Ear is the Prajapati. There again, there is the Nadan, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan. Uttarayan is the bright, when the sun rises, goes upwards the equator, and Dakshinayan is when the sun goes below the equator. So we are following light. Like Bhishmacharya waited for Uttarayan to leave his body. Then we come down to the month. That is the Prajapati, that is the creator. What it creates? The bright fortnight and the dark fortnight. So again follow the bright fortnight. Don't follow the dark fortnight. Yes, both are expressions of the same, spirit and matter. Both are expressions, subject and object. Both are expressions of the pure consciousness. But because both are expressions of the pure consciousness, I do not choose to follow the object. Because when I follow the object, concretization, crystallization of individuality happens. When I follow the subject and seek its source, then the individuality dissolves, and in its place, infinity expresses. Where is the argument in this? Matter has name and form. Consciousness has got no name and form. And yet is. Other than non-dual pure existence, nothing else is. We have to recognize this as our essential nature. Nice contemplation today. Maya. Keep contemplating on this for the whole day, rest of the week, till we meet next. Next week, Saturday and Sunday, we have a retreat. I'll tell you the topic tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll post it. And yeah, so 9 o'clock it will begin. 9 to 10, 11 to 12, lunch. 1:30 to 2:30, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or 3:30 to 4:30, and then conclude. All are welcome. Bring your friends along. We are thinking of Ashtavakra Gita, or we are thinking of Panchadashi. Let's see. Let me see what we can do to. If there is some other interesting text, I'll also see. I'm not saying these two are not interesting. They are interesting, but let's see. Let me just explore what else we have. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.